Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the English coverage of the Dota 2 Professional League. This is going to be game number 2 of a best of 2 between Newbee.Y and Team Duobao. Newbee.Y looked really strong in the laning phase, in the mid game, and right up until the end, until they forced out the GG from Duobao. We're going to see if Duobao can make things a little bit different here. Starting off with the Faceless Void, I'm going to be your caster, Annie, aka Android, and I am being joined once again by Johnny. What's up?
Well, it looks like Duobao, they are going to make things different this time around. They're going to eliminate the entire team that they played against. Tidehunter, Bounty, and Invoker all banned in quick succession here. So definitely
Yeah.
looking to see a change of pace. I guess that's one way to deal with the game one. Just get it completely out of the draft for game two and just move forward. And they pick up the Void with the ET, which is an insane combination. But watching Jia Jia on the Juggernaut last game, I think they should still be pretty afraid.
Yeah, I mean, Elder Titan picked up, did a lot of work that last game. Not Lanham tier, but definitely put in the hours, got some really nice stomps early, shut down the Tidehunter for as long as they could. Now, Duabao, are they going to go combo that Elder Titan with the Sven once again, or look to change it up?
I think they have to change it up. You saw how easily the Sven just became a non-factor with the rest of his team just getting eliminated, which is one way you can really deal with a really strong core. I mean, because you saw how much farm he had. He had Blink, Echo Saber, he had the Daedalus finished up, BKB. Like he was farmed to the gills, but it just didn't really matter because the rest of his team just disintegrated. So I think they have to pick a little bit different lineup here if they want to kind of go with that same aggression.
Alright, so what do you suggest? Do you think the Witch Doctor pickup to combo with the Void would be great?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many classic Void combinations here, and I like how they ban out the Invoker too. Just knowing that that's something they could want, but they likely might not get because they didn't have the next pick. So I mean, there's plenty of other ones you could use as well. Witch Doctor's a fantastic example, especially with that Aghanims just going through and just tearing up everyone in the chrono. Another nice one. The only problem is the bench was picked up too. Like immediately, you saw as soon as the Void was picked up, the bench was picked up within seconds to help save whoever's in the Chronosphere. Skyrath's also a kind of an age-old pairing with the Void Chrono as well, but we'll see how really focused they are on that. I mean, the Firebird's still in the pool actually too. Phoenix is still around.
Yeah, I mean, I would love a Skyrath here. I think that would be the best ever, because Skyrath is my favorite hero. But the Batrider picked up, Lifestealer is banned out, so they're gonna have to go with some other big damage dealer. Usually, when the Batrider is picked up, you use it as a vessel for the Lifestealer, but in this case, Newbee.Y taking it back to their roots. They're gonna be comboing it up, just drag and prey right into the Juggernaut's open jaws. Is this gonna be a mid bat, offlane bat, 4 bat? What is he looking at?
I really hope it's offlane bat because I want Newbee to pick a nice kind of controlling mid like they had last game. The Invoker just really set the pace for the game. It really just controlling, self-sufficient, and I'm really hoping that they have someone else that can kind of make space for the Juggernaut while the Batrider's kind of doing his own thing. So something perhaps maybe like the Queen of Pain would be nice, just so you have the added burst to guarantee the lasso kill. I think would be nice, but there's plenty of other options you can go with too. So I'm really hoping it's offlane bat.
Yeah, I think it does a lot of work, although it can be locked down pretty quickly, and Duabao picking up that Lion means they've got so much utility. You've got the Hex, you've got the Stun, you've got
Mm-hmm.
Sustain and a Nuke, and I think Lion's just one of the best supports out there, and Elder Titan most likely playing up the 4 again, so we're not going to see the Witch Doctor picked up for the Void. Disruptor going to be picked up for Newbee.Y. Is that a little too safe?
I don't know. I feel like it was so impactful last game. A couple of kinetic fields and the static storms were a little off the mark, but still, when the hero's playing from behind, it's very difficult to make plays and be fancy and see those cool glimpse plays. Because if you're behind, you're not really glimpsing people. You're getting chased and getting gone on. So I think Newbie they're hoping to get to that early lead and really capitalize on it with Disruptor. So I like it a lot.
Alright, so going into fourth pick here, Duabao still need their mid, they still need their position 1, unless we're going to see position 1 Void, which we have actually been seeing more and more. Not so much in China, a lot in EU, it's picked up as that position 1, so we'll have to see what Duabao want to do with it. I would think you want to go with something a little bit safer for your 1. Again, I'd love to see the Gyrocopter back in Fate, but we're going to go with the Ursa. Mid Ursa or position 1?
Gotta be position one, but they already have plenty of ways of dealing with it. It's kind of an interesting pick, especially if the Juggernaut ends up fighting the same kind of farm he had last time. You can go for either the Abyssal, Scotty, awesome ways of just kind of controlling and kiting the Ursa, and the Batrider already in the bench. Like I don't know, it's just kind of an odd pick for me, but he does spike really early into the mid game, so I think that's kind of the you know, the time that Duobao really want to kind of go in when the Faceless
10
Void's ready to
seconds
go.
remaining.
Elder Titan has a couple points into his passive, and maybe Lion has a
5
Blink
seconds
Dagger. We'll see how
remaining.
the game goes for them. But yeah, they could be really strong, and plus having the innate
Reserve
Roshan
time.
advantage would be really nice too.
Yeah, I'm just confused here because one of Ursa's strengths is that he chases you around. He's the one that goes after you. He's big, he's
Radiant
mean, he'll
team
smack you
pick.
out. But picking him into a Bat Rider, picking him into a Glimpse, picking him into a Vengeful Spirit swap, Newbee.Y can kind of play with this Ursa. And Alchemist as the
Dire
last
team
pick.
pick.
Holy hell, is that greedy? Where is Duobao going to get all the room for the farm they need to come online?
I think when you're already put up against the wall, I think it's put up or shut up time. The Alchemist is definitely a way to make a statement. I like it a lot. I like it.
10 seconds
I guess
remaining.
so, man. I don't know. I mean, maybe he's going to be played as
5 seconds
you
remaining.
know, an Ag Synther. Now, he's got to be going for that big greedy core role. So Ursa's going to scale up early. He'll be that 5 to 15 minute damage, and then hopefully Alchemist can come online after that. I think Newbee.Y have the tools to deal with this. You mentioned they're trapped up against a wall. They got to go for something big, but this might just be too YOLO.
It could be, but at the same time, I think the risk reward is worth it because the Alchemist, he's gonna get his farm no matter what, right? But wow, Storm, that actually makes it a little bit more difficult for the Alchemist too, because they can rotate in with the Venge and Disruptor. They can get smokes easily and make life pretty difficult for the Alch.
I I think Newbee.Y just kind of destroyed this draft. Like, I gotta give it like an 80-20 favor. I think Duobao are a team with great players. I've seen them execute very clean drafts before, but it seems like they just are scrambling for something. They're like, oh yeah, we need someone that farms up items. Let's pick an Alk. We need someone that can get early kills. Let's pick an Ursa. Without regard for the fact that Newbee.Y, you just basically walk them right up to a Storm Spirit pick, and this guy is going to be so successful unless he gets punished very early in the mid game. Or mid lane, rather.
10
Yeah, it's
seconds
really
remaining.
gonna be a tail of the laning phase here because I mean the Alchemist. I most likely you see
5
the armlet
seconds
build up into
remaining.
the Radiance. It's very common. You see the Alchemist slash Naga build. It's very common, but I don't know. I think the Battle Alch might be the way to go here because you don't really want to go for the split push against Newbee.Y.
Prepare for battle.
I think you want to go and get in their faces with the Ursa, right?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta get this Ursa up. He's gotta get big. He's gotta get mean right from the get go. But Duobao don't have that much early kill potential. I guess if you bring in the Elder Titan, if he stomps like he did anytime last game, you can kind of punish Newbie Youth really early on, but he's gonna run out of mana at some point. Lion's gonna be underleveled for a decent chunk of the early game, and Ursa hits hard, but I think Newbie Youth, or rather Newbee.Y, sorry, can deal. We'll have to see. It's again, this game comes down to execution. Draft can't win it all, but I'm I'm very much favoring the Dire.
Well, after last game performance, it's really hard not to favor them. But that last game notwithstanding, I think Duobao really are looking to make the laning
30
phase go in their
seconds
favor
to
and just kind
battle.
of capitalize on it. The problem is the Alchemist, pre-level 6, he's not that difficult to gank. Like it's not that Venge and Disruptor are amazing early roaming supports, but at the same time, the Alchemist is pretty vulnerable. Once he gets to level 6, it gets a lot more difficult to kill him. But the same goes for the Storm Spirit. As soon as he gets Ball Lightning up, it's a lot more hard to gank him. So I don't know. It's gonna be the tail of the mid lane. I think the off lane is gonna have quite a bit to say in this game as well too.
The battle begins.
Alright, so up top there could be some harass under the Void. Again, he does level up the Time Walk, no surprise there. It's his main tool as an offlaner to live through this. Rune's gonna go for a 1-1 split, both mids grabbing it up. Nothing big happening just yet. Let's take bets on where the first blood spills.
Whoa! We don't advertise gambling. Come on now. I think the Bat Rider's gonna be killed. it's he doesn't have the safest escape means. He also went boots first, which means he's oh got yeah he only has 2 armor, so it's gonna be pretty hard here. And the Lightning really can harass pretty well in the Ursa. Get a couple Fury Swipe
Radiant's
stacks
turret
on him, and
has
he can
been
go down
killed.
pretty quick. And there you go. There's another courier snipe here.
I mean, even when he's not on the bounty hunter, he's still an atrocious pest, killing off the courier right here, and that I mean, it wasn't crucial for the alchemist. It wasn't his bottle or anything, but it's still gonna set him back just a little bit.
It's still really annoying, and it already makes that semi-difficult lane even harder for him. And that's really what you want to do against the Alchemist. Like you get a greedy pick like that, if you can just punish it right off the bat like that, it's just gonna be huge.
Alright, so Batrider could be in a heap of trouble. They are going to go through. They will have the Earth Spike eventually if they do need it. The Elder Titan does bring in the Spirit, and this could get yucky real fast. Batrider trying to run it, trying to flap away, and do they have any sort of catch here? They're looking for something. They only have the Return Astral Spirit, so, you know, it's going to be scouting out the rune. They're not able to go through with the Stomp yet. Only level 1 on the Titan.
Yeah, I really don't like the boost first on the bat, and now he's literally completely out of regen. He's gonna have to ferry some more, and he does have 340 gold, which is great, but not ideal.
Up top, Meng taking a decent chunk of damage, but again, he does have the Time Walk, which basically says, you know, forget about the last couple of seconds of damage you did. I'm completely fine. Disruptor chasing him around and at least gonna force him out, give him a little bit of space. And mid lane, we are gonna have the Storm Spirit taking a lot of damage from that acid spray. Alchemist not really facing that much trouble just yet.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he's just deciding to sit in the acid storm. I mean, yeah, he's getting the CS, but I think now that he has the bottle, he's not too concerned about it. But he's not gonna be able to get a rune, obviously.
All right, so Disruptor and Faceless Void will end their stalemate for now. Both walking back, both regenning up. If we look at overall last hit, Storm leading the charge. Juggernaut gonna be second up. He had such a successful Juggernaut game last time. Wow, look how deep Sober is right here, contesting the Batrider's farm. Just being a nuisance, being all up in his face.
Yeah, and there's almost nothing the bat can do. He actually has to go back to base because he has no mana left, no regen. There's really not much left to do, and Sober's like, he's completely full. Like, he's ready to go. He did his job. Trilin's successful. Ursa just last hitting to his heart's content here.
Alright, now there might be a mid-rotation coming through. Elder Titan joining the party, maybe trying to bait with this low-health Alchemist. Wow, he is really low health. He's going to be going through, pop on that self, making sure that the Storm Spirit can't go through and finish him off. Storm Spirit is only level 4. It doesn't have that ball lightning just yet, matching up pretty closely with the Alch.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty favorable lane for Storm, especially if you can get like a little bit of rune control here. But yeah, once they both hit level 6, it's going to be, each team's going to have to commit quite a bit to kill him off.
Over here, there is going to be that, perhaps stun, but oh, leaped off as Void is able to go get under tower, at least a decent range. There's no more follow-up, and, you know, no blood spilled just yet. We're going to be about 4 minutes in. It seems like everyone's playing safe, because both teams know that the laning phase is going to mean so much when it comes down to these later on teamfights.
Yeah, and the Batrider's still going back to basics here. And he's just going to try to farm the wave here with a nice Firefly and stacking him the Napalm. And it actually looks like he's going to go for drums, perhaps, first, which I've seen quite a bit in both Chinese
this is going to be
and
it. They get a
European.
stomp here onto the Storm Spirit. He can't zip out yet. They do have the lockdown. They may end up losing the Lion on the back lines. It's going to be a glimpse back as Lion, he could be taking down here. One more trap from the Thunderstrike will do it. The first blood goes out as Lions goes through on the back lines. Storm Spirit was able to get the kill on the Elder Titan, so it's going to be an 0 for 2. As Duobao, they took that initiation, but ended up dropping a lot for it. They really wanted the Storm, but in the end, his team was there to back him up.
And Fairy Fire, good item too. Seen so many times where someone's so close, they're just on the brink of dying, and the Fairy Fire just saves them from oblivion. And that was just another example too, where the Storm just able to regen up the last second, get a bottle charge off, and turn around with a great static remnant into the overload and just finishing him off.
So we haven't talked a whole lot about the Ursa because he hasn't really been doing much, and we talked about how he was picked up to be that early game aggression, to go in, to just start chasing people down, racking in the kills. He's he's picked himself up phase boots. Nothing too spectacular here. He's kind of middle of the pack in terms of where the carries are at. So, you know, what does he have to do to be really impactful? Does he have to go for that early Roche, or does he have to go for early kills with his team? Does he have to sit back and farm? What's his game plan?
I think he has to go for the Roche. He needs to be the aggressor while the Alchemist kind of figures out what he wants to do with his life. And honestly, the nice thing about Ursa now, with Fury Swipes not being an orb anymore, is he can literally just pick up a Morbid Mask and a Blink, and he's good to go. He's ready to fight. I think that just means go time here. And looks like they might go onto the Batrider.
They will go through, they will get a stomp, but he's got the Firefly, so no one can really sit in that for too long. They get the Hex, they will get one more swipe, and now Ursa picks himself up his first kill, so, you know, exactly what we said needed to happen. They rotate in, they get a kill for the Ursa, practically spoon-feeding it to him, and that will start him off 900 gold. Now he can go through with the Morbid Mask, and can go pick up an early Roche in the next 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, there's really no rush on it.
He's actually in a little bit of trouble here. Goes off, wants to finish off his own jungle farm. They are going to bring in the Alchemist, who does have that 6 chemical rage stuff. There's not a whole lot that the Disruptor can do about this. Will just end up dropping down as SCCC zaps back under his own tower. We'll be going back to the base for mana. But, you know, in terms of global trades, dropping the Disruptor, not too ideal there. Disruptor is so level dependent, so keeping him off the map when he's so close to taking over to level 4 is kind of miserable.
Yeah, that's going to be the issue for a bit too, because he's kind of a hero without a home at this point. The Juggernaut really doesn't need him, but I mean he's kind of just stealing experience from his carry at that point. But I guess the Jug's already got level 6. He's almost level 7 now, so it's not too bad. And they can look to suppress those towers. The lane's been completely abandoned for a while now.
Alright, so Jug, I mean, he's definitely not on the same start as last game, hasn't had those early kills, hasn't had that unbelievable free farm, but he's got his Aquila, he's got the poor man's shield. Do you think he's going to go in for the same build, which was the casual Yasha into Battle Fury, or does he have to change that up a little bit?
I think they'd be okay with doing that again, because honestly, it's a great farming tool, decent damage, and obviously get the move speed, which is fantastic to go along with the Blade Fury, so I wouldn't hate it. And the thing is, he could still finish that and probably get the Battle Fury a decent time if he does want to go that route as well.
Oh, they're chasing down the Void here. No Chrono enemies, only level 4. They're going to be going for the Glimpse back, but that's underneath the tower. Maybe a little bit ambitious there. As the time dilation comes out, there's not a whole lot they can do, but they are going to make a Void sandwich. They bring in the Vengeful Spirit going through onto the Ursa, but Ursa, he's starting to rip apart the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit turns, Ball Lightnings away. Looks like this could be a stalemate out, but there is going to be a nice Earth Spike coming back on through. They want to get some sort of kill here as Lion, he's trying to bring in the damage, but Disruptor looking for more. They bring in the Alchemist. They're looking for the kill on the Disruptor, who's at least making a ton of space, allowing the rest of his team to get out. There is going to be a Spirit going on through, scouting him out. Disruptor, he's still alive. He's got the boots. That little extra bit of movement speed is saving his life, and he's got the TP. And no mana for that Earth Spike, so it looks like Disruptor will get out okay. How did everyone live through that?
No idea, but that little Raptor is just running his heart out. Look at him go. He's running all the way home. With the Tranquil boost, he'll even regen up. He doesn't even have to go back to well. That was fantastic. I can't believe nobody died.
Yeah, I mean, you started things off with like a glimpse back on the Void under his own tower, and then a double time dilation that should have been a kill, at least onto the Void. Disruptor should have fallen as well. I mean, this guy, he's paper. He's got 680 HP and 1 base armor.
Yeah, they're really scared to go in the Void though, because they know that the Time Walk is right there. So even if they do commit anything, they're very afraid that if they don't kill him, they'll just kind of lose everything that they went for, and they might lose a couple ultimates, especially the Omni Slash, so makes sense.
Alright, Ursa tries to go through, tries to break TPs, but won't be successful, as there is going to be a hasted up Storm Spirit with a decent chunk of mana. That's not really a catch you're going to get, sorry Ursa. On the backlines, Juggernaut goes through, ends up getting the kill on the tower as well as the Void. So that is just this overall big success for the Jug at this point. He's now got himself 1,700 gold, and we're going to see what his first item will be. It could be a Blink.
And that was the caster jinx there. We're talking about how he wasn't getting any contested free farm, he wasn't getting the early kills, so he gets a kill and a tower kill.
Disruptor with that YOLO kinetic field looking for a fence around himself, but not going to be enough. Disruptor still goes down, and that's going to be Disruptor's second kill, or rather second death, and those are going to start to add up. Even those little flimsy net worth swings are going to start going pretty heavily in favor of Duobao if you keep popping the Disruptor down, but we're now going to be about 2k lead for Newbee.Y. How do they get the most out of that lead? How do they go through? Do they push? Do they fight? Do they sit back and farm?
I think right now they need to get a couple items first before they really start to go fight. And honestly, on the side of Duobao, they need that Blink. Ursa's got the Morbid Mask, and if he gets the Blink Dagger, that'd be really signal go time here. And actually, he could he finished off the Mask of Madness instead, so he can go Roche if he wants to right now.
Alright, now, you know, it's going to be a decently timed Roche if he goes for it now. There is going to be a glimpse back. Oh, Ursa could be in some trouble here. He's going to turn to try to go into the Juggernaut, but they're making all the space in the world. I mean, they're just playing with their food here as Juggernaut, not really feeling too scared of the Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, but Fuzzy Wuzzy needs a little more hair. Once he gets that Blink Dagger, it'll definitely be go time. And right now, the Alchemist, I think he's going for the Radiance for sure. He's got 2,200 saved. Just farming to heart's content. He's got the net worth lead, but he's an Alchemist. He's supposed to. He needs to be ahead in order to be effective, so not too surprising. Blink Dagger actually comes online for the Bat Rider here too, so they might be ready to go as well. Unfortunately, he's level 7. He does not have Flaming Lasso, so maybe a prerequisite to using the Blink Dagger. He actually was holding on to the point. Oh no, he just hit level 8 and he levels it, so they're good to go. And they're going to smoke actually.
Yeah, they're looking for something here. A pick, even just onto the Lion, could be a great way to show off this lasso. But they're going to be looking for more here. They do scout out that Ursa's under his tower, and they really, really want the spare before he has the chance to go for Aegis. And looks like they will get him. They go through. They get the drag. There's a static storm as well, holding him in, doing the maximum DPS that they have. They bring in the spin. There's no chance he gets out alive, so they will get the kill on the Ursa. Meanwhile, Alchemist did get a kill on the Storm Spirit. So 1-for-1 trade. That's going to be pretty even globally. I guess it does end up favoring, you know, slightly Duobao.
Yeah, I think they definitely got the value out of that, though, because the Alchemist now, he's going to have over 3k gold. He gets his stack, gets the solo kill, and slows down the Storm, too, who's really going to be supposedly the biggest impact here for Newbee.Y, at least in this early game. So I think it was worth semi-space created, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And, you know, kill score's dead even here. If we look at the overall gold, it's within 1500, which is still super close. That's 1 or 2 kill bounties. Can Ursa continue to bring this back? Because he was picked up to be an early game dominator. He was picked up to be this unstoppable force that rips apart everyone and starts snowballing in terms of kills. But we see right now Juggernaut is not afraid of him whatsoever. There is going to be an Earth Spike, going to be off the mark here. Won't connect onto the Jug. He's going to be hexed up, but flapping his way to safety. In fact, he looks to turn. He does have the Omni Slash. Wants to make sure everyone's away from the creep wave, and, well, isn't going to be able to catch up to this just for now. And the rest of the Dire, they're sitting here. They've got that glimpse on the Disruptor. Do they have vision to go for this? Got the Blink Lasso in 5 seconds, so at least just waiting this out while the Storm Spirit, or rather the Vengeful Spirit, sits mid.
I almost forgot they had a Vengeful Spirit. I feel like the Mer's just not been a part of many of these fights. He's 0-0-1. I'm not really sure what's going on right now. The CM game that he played last game was just so impactful. He's all over the map, making kills, making space.
They get the drag onto the Ursa. They go in with an Omni Slash. It's going to be split amongst 2 targets. They rotate in, glimpse back as finally the line does go down to Ursa. He's popped into his ulti form. He's not taking a whole lot of damage, but eventually it has to end, and he will fall to the grave. So Newbee.Y, they get exactly what they came for, and it looks like they will be able to exert pressure onto the tier 2 as well.
Yeah, now the Vengeful Spirit is slowly making her way down, so you will get that bonus damage from the Aura, but I like we mentioned the draft, like there's just so many ways to deal with the Ursa. It was picked up 4th pick. It's just very, very baffling at this point.
Alright, so as this tower gets some pressure thrown onto it, can we talk about the fact that this Void has not left the top lane for eons, and it's 13 minutes in, he's level 8, he's got basically no items. He's gonna be picking up a Vlad's, but he's just flimsy. He isn't adding anything to the teamfight at this point.
Not only that, but I don't think we've seen a single Chrono, correct?
No, not unless we missed one.
Yeah, I don't think we did. I'm pretty sure no Chronos come out, so a couple of these heroes just really not doing what they were drafted to do, and yeah, the Alchemist is getting
farmed. There we go. We've got a Chrono, we've got a Stun, we've got a Finger of Death, so they will end up getting the kill on the Juggernaut, which is actually a decent bounty. It goes the way of the Alchemist, who will be picking up that Radiance recipe, and, you know, that's going to be a little bit of push potential for Duobao coming out, but it seems like the Alchemist should be way farther ahead, and if you look at who's adding what to the team fights, Alchemist isn't that scary even with the Radiant, so if you take away his net worth, you've got 3 Dire heroes really stacking up against the Radiant.
Yeah, and that's just what Jug does, or what the Alchemist does. I mean, it's great that he picked up the Radiance and a pretty decent timing too, but at the same time, like, it doesn't offer a whole lot right now, right? I think we both made that pretty clear, and the sad thing is that they need him to do a lot more right now. He's got that nice net worth lead, but it just doesn't translate to a whole lot.
Blink Lasso is online. They're looking for some sort of pick here. They will go through. Time Dilation comes out. The Batrider going to be not at his full capabilities. There is going to be a destroyed tower. Faceless Void finally gets the tower he worked all game for, but he's going to get dragged back. He's going to get static stormed up and will get picked out. So it's going to be tower traded for 2 heroes, including the Void, who had been having, you know, quote-unquote free farm, but it wasn't really reflecting in his items anyway.
No, and that's the unfortunate part too. Perfect world is not my friend. I just keep disconnecting. Sorry.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Hopefully you get one of those stable connections. And, well, now Ursa is going to be trying to Roshan for the first time at 15 minutes in. He's got no progress on top of that more Mask of Madness, and he's going to be going for the Blink Dagger eventually. Will pick up the Aegis. As, oh man, that Juggernaut was going in. He really, really wanted to snatch. He was about half a second too late. Now, Alchemist, he's going through, using the Chemical Rage to farm up the Ancients, so he's getting a decent chunk of gold for himself. 4 points in the Greevil's Greed will do that, but how does he turn that gold into kills, into push, into teamfight composition, because it seems like Duobao, they're kind of fighting 3v5 as the Void hasn't been participating and the Alk hasn't been participating. So it's really just been down to the Ursa, the Lion, and the Elder Titan, and they're trying their best. They're getting a decent sum of kills out of this, but it seems like Newbee Youth, they're just getting a little bit more out of the map, out of their heroes. They're itemizing just a little bit more cleanly. Juggernaut is going to be going straight into the Battle Fury, not stopping for the Yasha in the first place. Now there is going to be a smoke coming out. They've got all their ultis except for the Lion Finger, and they're going to see what they can find here, but little do they know that no one's up top. Are they going to rotate towards mid? There's a TP in from the Batrider, who does have the lasso. This is going to be an ambitious kill that they go for. They will be going through. They've got that Firefly Batrider. There's going to be the Earth Splitter coming back on through, doing a ton of damage. They hex him up. Do they have any sort of lockdown for him? Looks like the Batrider is still alive on the back lines. Void, he drops. This is looking so good for Newbee Young. If they can get out of this without losing anything, now they are going to bring the Batrider back in with a fraction of his health. They go in, they get the zip onto Sober. He's trying to stop, but he will just drop. Looks like SCCC is going to be sleeping up, looking at the corpse of the Elder Titan that once was, and in the end it's going to be 1,000 gold swing in favor of Newbee Youth on an initiation they didn't even hope to take.
No, and that actually looked pretty darn good to start out. I mean, you caught the bad free lasso. It really looked like it was going to be nice, but like we mentioned, you definitely literally just said it. The Alchemist just kind of doing his thing. He's actually going for the Naga build. He's got the BOTs, working on the Yasha now. I mean, he's farming to his heart's content, but the rest of his team just getting decimated across the map. They're losing objectives, and the Ursa can only do so much here.
Alright, down bottom, there is going to be the lasso still on the money. They will bring back the Alchemist, but he's got that Chemical Rage, and unless they bring in a whole big chunk of damage, they are in for a world of hurt. Now the Unstable Concoction goes through as Alchemist just wants to fight out the Disruptor, once again zoning with the Kinetic Field. Gonna be fire flying up as, oh, Alchemist could be in some trouble here, trying to like regen up the best he can, but looks like he may end up falling, will end up burning down to the Batrider. Juggernaut was there if they needed the extra bit of damage, so Alchemist take it out while he had the Radiance, while he had the Armlet, while he had the Chemical Rage. That is certainly unfortunate.
And the team's just getting dismantled. Like, I really like the cojones it took to make the Alchemist pick, but you really hit the nail on the head. It was just too greedy. It's just not the right hero, and now it's just kind of showing how just embarrassing it is right now, because the Ursa, he had a fairly uncontested farming lane. Like, early game, he did pretty much whatever he wanted, and now it just doesn't really matter. He's got the Aegis, but look how defenseless their team is. The entire team dropped within about 2 minutes time, and the Ursa's just a non-factor.
Yeah, looking at the overall XP, it's actually more of a dire story than the gold. Almost 6,000 in favor of Newbee Youth, and that's just because they're getting more out of the map. They're able to go through, look for these picks. Speaking of that, Caster's Curse, we might see the Batrider go down. One more hit will take him out, so Ursa getting something for his troubles, but I mean, the rest of Duobao have been rotating as a group pretty much the whole time, and that does mean their experience is just a bit lacking. Their kills as well, not up to par, and they're going to be looking for something here. They do have the Chrono at the ready. Hopefully we can see a very impactful Chrono with the damage to follow up, because again, that Chrono onto the Storm in the top lane earlier was super helpful, but since then the Void has kind of been a liability more than a initiator.
Yeah, and unfortunately the Aegis is just about to expire. They got about a minute left with it too, so really haven't been able to make much out of this. Maybe they can take the T1 mid, perhaps?
Alchemist once again for the second time in 2 minutes take it out. His Chemical Rage ends and he's just completely flimsy after that. The Armlet, I mean, it can be sliced through like butter with these heroes, and now Storm Spirit's got 14 charges in the Bloodstone. Looks like he's going to go for the Orchid as well. Should have it up very well timed, and Juggernaut, he's finished off the Battle Fury. He's got another 1,500 gold. There is going to be a spin under the Chrono, so Void actually has to leave. There's going to be a stop here. Will catch out a decent amount of heroes. Now Juggernaut gets the kill on the faceless Void, who went for the initiation in the first place. A Dong is going to get ripped apart too. This is looking miserable. I wouldn't be surprised to see a GG at maybe even the tier 2s, because Duobao, they picked a lineup that needed to get on early, needed to excel. The Ursa needed to be a powerhouse, and you know, he hasn't fallen off. He hasn't been feeding or anything along that sort, but he just hasn't dominated. No one on Duobao has gotten in, gotten aggressive, gotten the kills.
Yeah, well, you just look at the two supports and how poor they are in terms of net worth. They are so far down. Actually, the line and the ET almost barely can get up to the Vengeful Spirit's net worth. It's just not looking good. The rest of the team just can't hold up. All the farms really just concentrate on the Ursa and the Alchemist, and that's just not going to do. You have to distribute the wealth. You got to spread the wealth, right? And now it just shows when the team's just getting dismantled time and time again, and Alchemist just goes back to farming. We could likely see another pickoff here as the Newbee Young's actually in the jungle, and Lasso's going to be ready in 14 seconds.
So, You know, Ursa's one of those heroes that he likes to have a great early start. He likes to go through and be aggressive, be ahead from the very beginning. Does he have, you know, any comeback mechanics? Because he is going to be fairly behind the Juggernaut, fairly behind the Storm. Is there any way he gets back in this, or does he kind of just fizzle off from here?
I think BKB is really the only play he can really go for, because that's the only thing that can prevent him from being kited, and the rest of the team needs to be on the same page here. I don't know if there's some synergy issues here, but we need the Chronos, we need the Ursa. But like you saw when they're together, how much damage they can do. If the Ursa and the Alchemist can get in on that, it would just change everything. But they just
Dip
have
Sap in. They were waiting for the Ursa to separate before they go in. There is going to be a nice unstable concoction. That is a long-ass concoction. Will eventually connect on the back lines. There will be a stomp. Does it connect onto a bunch of heroes? Only the Storm. There's going to be a swap back. Adong will get picked off. Just stuck between a rock and a hard place. And there is going to be an Earth Splitter coming back out. Myrrh going to be a little bit of damage there, but nothing she can't deal with. They get the Lion, they don't lose anything in return. That Storm Spirit play was just beautifully cheeky, baiting out the Ursa, waiting for him to come up and scout out what's going on, and then as soon as you leave the support alone, that's when you initiate. There's going to be a static Storm. They do get a nice drag here, so they will secure the kill in the Void as well. Dying with Chrono up. He can't get it off. He can't use it. Nafante's ult will expire, and so will he. There's going to be a Stomp, and I think that Stomp is just symbolic for the entire game here. As Newbee.Y, they came in, they showed their power, they drafted a lineup they were very comfortable with time and time again, and this is going to be it. A tier 2 going in their favor. Kill score is 6 and 21, but the overall net worth going to be ticking down towards 10,000 now at 22 minutes in.
Yeah, I'm too scared to even look at the graphs at this point. It's just been a slow and painful spiral downward.
Absolutely, and I mean, if these racks go down, Duobao don't have a great counter push lineup. I mean, they got the Radiance, but there's only so much Al can do. Now, they are going to go through, it's a monster kill streak onto the Lion, who just hasn't had the easiest time here. That is his 7th death, 0-7-3 on that little Hell Beast, and he's having some struggles. I think Duobao, they're just going to tap out here. Good game, well played, comes out as there's no hope for a turnaround. So Newbee.Y, they are going to take the series in a 2-0 fashion. Duobao, they came in a little bit frazzled, a little bit fragmented, and didn't execute that cleanly. Any final thoughts about the game?
I think Newbee.Y definitely had the more talented lineup. They definitely been playing quite a bit longer too, and it definitely showed. I mean, you just saw how quickly they were able just to kind of get their team online, get everyone where they needed to be. The itemization, again, just so strong. They got the 4 staffs up early on, and the Batrider just really just making his mark on this game. Like, not the most fantastic start, being zoned out quite a bit, but really just such great synergy from Newbee.Y. Props to them for the 2-0 victory.
Alright, and that's going to be it for the first series of the night. Next up, we are going to have VGR versus FTDA. Definitely going to be a treat, but I think this is going to be it for you, Johnny. So thank you so much for hopping on and joining me for this cast tonight. Where can everyone find you?
Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Yeah, here's Johnny with the underscore at the end. Doing mostly Pro Dota Cup and a little bit of freelancing stuff on the side. So if you like what you heard today, feel free to follow me.
Alright, thanks again, man. I'm going to toss this back to a quick break. We'll be right back with Mad Kings for series number 2.